Northrend has a new capital hub. That's right. We know we're going back to Northrend in the last Titan. And the last time we were there, Dalaran was our hub city. Well, if maybe you've been under a rock or something, but Dalaran was officially pulverized into tiny rocks. So where is our hub city going to be? I propose the idea of a Vrykul hub city, which is always cool to me. But some of you guys in chat have already said this idea. What if Northrend's capital becomes Icecrown Citadel? I don't know how this would all work, but let's see what Doran has discovered why he thinks Icecrown actually could be our new capital. Let's check this one out.
Last Titan is just around the corner and we are going back to Northrend. Now, Dalaran used to be our main hub back in the day and now it is gone, completely turned into rubble. So naturally the question...
I personally hope with Dalaran in his future, damn, that's a bright-ass explosion, that we get grounded Dalaran once again. Like Dalaran back in the Eastern Kingdoms inside of its little bubble, where the bubble currently is, and expanded out. Like Dalaran, floating Dalaran was only a portion. It was the central portion of Dalaran. Actual lore Dalaran was a much bigger city. It expanded out much further than that. And I think it would be very cool to go back to a mage-built city. And they're mages. They have magic, right? They can rebuild some shit. Doesn't matter if it was pulverized or just build out a whole new Dalaran. But I hope we get like a grounded version of Dalaran at some point. Maybe we, that's like a future expansion thing.
Into rubble. So naturally the question arises, what is going to be our main neutral hub in Northrend? Could we take over the Blue Dragonflight Nexus or Azul Nerub and base our operations there? Or go to our most reliable location, the Wormrest Temple?
The Wormrest Temple could be one of them. I mean, we've gotten to know the dragons a little bit better and all that. There's plenty of dragon lore with the Titans and everything, so it could be Wormrest Temple, although it's not that exciting to me. Like Wormrest Temple, first of all, just a giant dick, you know, sticking out of Dragonblight or whatever the hell this zone was called again. And so it's all right. They would have to obviously change it. It's not ready to be a hub city. But I think something else would be cool. I want a very cool city. Let's just call it. Say it is what it is. That's what I want.
Wormrest Temple. Would it be possible that we take over either the whole Icecrown Citadel
I'm done with
or
the dragon
a part of
aesthetic.
it
We've
and
done
we
it.
take the former seat of the Lich King as our new city? Or could we actually take like a wing of Ulduar and do everything from there? Let's look at everything we currently know and what is going to be the main capital of Northrend and our future hub in the last Titan. If you think classic, especially hardcore, there is the perfect survival guide with rested XP. It gives you the safest routes, hostile enemy warnings, and now even with TBC hardcore it will be 100% optimized for straight survival, amongst getting the absolute best, most optimal routes and information. Furthermore, rested XP offers midnight guides too, but best of all, if you use my link below, you will get 10% off your order immediately.
Use the man's
so
link.
check out rested XP. So one of the most notable experiences of Wrath the Lich King was in fact Dalaran. I don't know if there is a single old school WoW player that hasn't ran circles around Dalaran back in Wrath, but realistically the return of Dalaran is almost impossible. I mean, the World Soul Saga started literally with just Dalaran being exploded into bits, and I don't really think...
I was talking about maybe in the last Titan, they bring back the class order halls, which I was excited about, but then I forgot, and you guys brought it up in chat. I was like, oh my god, wait a minute, the Rogue Class Order Hall and the Mage one are in Dalaran. So they're gone. So if they brought back these Order Halls, we'd have to figure out where the hell those are going to be. And then you even have like the lore changes with Odin and everything that have happened. Like how can warriors just spend time with Odin still? Because he's kind of turning out to be a jerk. So I'm not sure. I do hope they do it, though. I hope we go back to Class Order Halls for that expand. I think it'd be fun. I think Class Order Halls are really cool.
There is any way for it to recover unless they rebuild a city in the Eastern Kingdoms, and we don't really even want them to just like break the lore completely and just like recover it out of nowhere. Dalaran itself before this would obviously be the most likely choice for Northrend again, because first of all Dalaran was the most important city for a really long time on the Eastern Kingdoms, then it teleported to Northrend, then it was used during the Burning Legion invasion, but without it we are only realistically left with a few viable choices. And by the way the game is going, I do think they will build a hub, and it's really unlikely that we'll like split into bases for the Horde and the Alliance. So right now we do have a few most likely options we can consider. Realistically, right now the most relevant candidates, some are more likely, some are less likely. We of course got the Nexus and the Blue Dragons, we got the Wyrmrest Temple as the main dragon city, we got the Icecrown Citadel, which could actually be relevant now without the Lich King, and we got Ulduar.
I'm pretty sure the mindless part of the Scourge is still like wandering the halls of Icecrown. Like we'd have to clear that place out a little bit to actually use it. I don't think it's really, really considered safe, even though the Lich King no longer exists.
Titans as well as Azul Nerub, which is actually relevant as well because those Nerubians from Northrend back in the day were our friends, and we just had quite a bit of experience with Nerubians in Kazakhstan. However, personally, I think only one or two of these cities from this list are actually viable options. The Nexus could be relevant with the ley lines and Zealot using them recently like she did with the Sunwell, but personally, I just don't think it is as iconic. It's far from everything where things will be happening, and that is like the Icecrown Citadel and Stormpeaks. I think this is going to be the main area, so I just don't think the Nexus is that viable. Now, if you watched the video like that I released about a week back, I discussed that potential leak from that whiteboard that actually does make some sense, and that is that Northrend could potentially be shattered. Not necessarily like completely destroyed or completely different, or like zones are completely broken, but it's likely that the Void invasion and the arrival of the Titans in person could cause some serious changes to the land, which could make the entire land.
And you got all these Titan facilities in Northrend. They could certainly have some sort of shattering mechanic that breaks the land up there. Why they'd want to do it, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm sure there could be some kind of seismic event that breaks up Northrend.
And mass different than what we were used to back in Vrat. This could potentially shatter some cities or make some areas closer than they were back in the day. So geography is not really going to be the exact same thing.
I do hope, though, we do know Northrend's getting revamped. I hope they don't go the Cataclysm route and kind of wreck some of these zones to be, revamped. I'd much rather prefer the Midnight route that they've done, where they basically revamp the entire zone. They make it bigger, it looks nicer, but it still feels like the original zone. All the zones, I think everything they did at Midnight has been really, really good. I love the way they updated all the zones, and I think that's the way to properly do it. The Cataclysm way pisses people off because you break nostalgia, you make people miss the old ways, and Grizzly Hills, alone would probably just, there'd be riots in the streets if they broke Grizzly Hills.
However, onto the cities, Azul Nerub technically does make some sense. Those Nerubians that we met back in the day were friendly, and there is apparently a connection with Kazagar, very likely through some sort of a tunnel that leads from Northrend to Kazagar, and it is thematic to the World Soul Saga, but personally, I just don't think it's really that big of a deal, honestly. I just don't think the Nerubians are as relevant to Northrend for their city to be a hub or our main base of operations, and those Nerubians were not exactly like our lord.
Also, a Nerubian hub would be underground, and I think we spent enough time underground in the War Within, so I'm good on that. I don't want an underground hub city.
Loyal allies that it would just allow us to use their city completely. So personally, while technically viable, I think this option is a bit too far-fetched. However, let's discuss what is actually most likely, and we do have a few options. In my opinion, a bit of a boring option, but the most likely candidate is in fact the Wyrmrest Temple, and it's honestly the option with the most evidence, the best location, the best lore base, the best logistics. The reason I think it's a bit boring is, well, it's literally...
It is all central, too. It's very central in Northrend, so, like, everything would be equidistance away from it if you really want to use this as your hub city.
It's just a dragon tower. It doesn't look all that exciting.
Not cool.
It's not really like, oh, I can't wait to go back to the Wyrmrest Temple. Evidence, though, is strongly supporting this, unfortunately. The whole World Soul Saga started with Iridikron. He's the one that wanted to break the Titans to come to Azeroth to Zalatat. In the first place, this guy literally started this whole snowball effect. So, dragons are obviously going to be relevant in this expansion. We learned in the book that Iridikron had a base probably somewhere around the Vratgate area, which is close, which could be relevant to the Wyrmrest Temple as well. And also, the Wyrmrest Temple is kind of right next door to the Icecrown Citadel and Stormweeks, but it is also at kind of a safe distance, so when it comes to logistics, it honestly makes the most amount of sense. However, Wyrmrest Temple would have to be significantly expanded for it to be a capital, and this right now is the biggest problem, to be honest. At the moment, it's honestly just...
I actually think it would take a lot of work to make Wyrmrest Temple into a city that makes sense, because it's literally, it's just a A dildo sticking out of Dragonblight right now. There's nothing to it. It's got a couple levels to it. It's got the underground part of it where the dungeons, there's dungeons down there currently too. So that there's, how would they handle that? Would they just leave the basement as it is? I don't know, but I just don't. I don't think Wormrest is the right choice here. It might make sense in terms of lore, but just aesthetically and the looks and the way they would have to do it, it wouldn't be very cool.
One large tower. I
It
mean, they
wouldn't
would either
excite me.
have to turn it into something like Valdraken, or have it go around in circles like we did in Oribos, or
Yeah,
find
no, like its aesthetic is nothing crazy either. Like I said earlier, we've done this. We did the dragon aesthetic. We've already done it. The Titan stuff, we've done it. There's nothing exciting about this. You give me a Vrykul city where I'm living in a Viking hub city for the entirety of the expansion with really freaking perfect Viking music. I mean, yeah, that excites me. Ice Crown, well, I still think that's unrealistic. Yeah, that's cool. That's exciting. It's just not.
finding like some hidden chambers or
It's
the
also got that
dragons are like
Ouroboros. Yeah, it's got an Ouroboros feel to it, which I don't like at all. That circle, freaking multi-layer city. Oh my God, please no.
expanding it or reinforcing it. Lore-wise and location-wise, as I said, it will make the most sense, but it will kind of be the most bland option. The other, more interesting option, in my opinion, is something a lot of people don't expect, and that is the Ice-Crown Citadel. I mean, the Citadel is the perfect size for a hub and a city, and most importantly, while the Scourge is still active and it is in big numbers, the Lich King is gone, the Citadel is mostly clear. I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of effort to clear it. They did talk about it being very relevant in a recent interview, and Icecrown is not only in the very center of the continent, but it is also very close to Ulduar, where I'm expecting a lot of Last Titan activity will be around. So, not the entire Icecrown Citadel, but I could see us making a push to completely take over the Icecrown Citadel, and it could be like a temporary hub. It won't necessarily be like a city with like all the shops and libraries like we had in Dalaran back in the day, but I think this would honestly be the most exciting feature to use the iconic Icecrown as our base.
Hey, it'd be
However,
cool.
I do also think there is some Titan machinery around there as well, so who knows. The next location close could be the Argent Crusade tournament.
Okay, I would be down for this. Maybe you build it out more. I don't know about just, we've done the whole like, okay, it's like a base camp of tents and stuff. We did that in WAD. And honestly, those were shit ass cities. But I love the Argent tent area. I love this freaking area. I don't know why I have a lot of good nostalgic memories about this place. Hey, maybe we get jousting coming back too. That'd be kind of cool. But this could work. This could work. Just maybe more of a permanent settlement, less tents. Yeah, the Argent tournament. I love this area.
The grounds, which is next door. It's kind of an in-between, so technically this is a very viable location. We've been there, but honestly, it wouldn't really feel like a significant hub as it's mostly just tents and it's kind of all the way north.
Yeah, like I said, they'd have to build it out.
Interesting thing the community has been talking about as well is actually Ulduar. So the Titans are coming. It's likely that the last Titan itself will mostly be based in Ulduar and Storm Peaks, as this is like their main base of operations for everything they did on Azeroth. So technically, I could see the Titans like lifting a part of Ulduar into the air, sort of similar to what Odin did, and then we could use some wing of Ulduar ourselves as like a base camp, which would be a pretty interesting option to see. For example, if you may remember, Odin's halls we've been back to in the day is literally just an airlifted part of Ulduar, so something like this could definitely be possible, but it is hard to predict. I mean, if the Titans are in Ulduar, it's unlikely our true base operations will be like literally in the exact same location. So realistically, right now, I mean, just logistics and lore-wise, Wyrmrest Temple makes the most sense, albeit it is a little bit bland, but it does tie in with the dragon lore, Erericron. It's kind of the perfect location, safe from real danger, but also decently close, and it's established. The biggest problem is it's just kind of small and it's not that interesting. However, depending on how the story goes, I would honestly like to see Ulduar or the Icecrown Citadel being used as a hub, as it could be something unique and interesting to see. It will make it feel a bit more than just a hub, but like us taking over.
I wonder what, I'm trying to think, like, what would Icecrown Citadel offer us in terms of shelter from the Titans? Because I think we're going to fight against the Titans, right? And if we stay in a place encrusted with old god blood, right? It's all Serenite. That's all old god blood. That's what these walls and everything are made of. Does that shelter us a little bit from the Titans? Maybe. I don't know how they react to Serenite. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe it kind of burns their skin. It's like their kryptonite. Could be. And then in that case, Icecrown makes more sense as a hub city. But I don't know what the lore is necessarily behind that.
an iconic location. However, we will see what will happen. I mean, actually,
Serenite is resistant to void too. Yeah, yeah.
very, very soon, in just about 3 months from this video. Thanks for watching. Check out the new Hinterlands data mine information and the Skyborn elf stuff we've learned by clicking on the screen, and subscribe to my brand new Witcher lore channel by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Yeah, nice video overall from Doran. It would be interesting. We'd be surrounded by death. Death seems to be a thing. Well, death is definitely a thing. There's the whole way the void is reacted to Sylvanas. Clearly, the void itself is afraid of death. That's a big theme. So maybe even that makes Icecrown more relevant. Who knows? Clearly, Icecrown was a big play for the jailer, right? And breaking the chain and freeing us from the prison and all that shit. So maybe we go back to it. Maybe we do free ourselves from the prison. Maybe the jailer was right. Oh, no. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Anyways, nice video overall from Doran. We'll see what hub city we end up with. It's going to be a new one. We'll see which one it is.